What is going on, everyone? I am at Parceo Philly, and this is DOOP By The River, the show where we follow everything Philadelphia Union. And today, guys, we're doing something a little special. It is the 10-year anniversary that the Philadelphia Union have been in the MLS and in the city of Philadelphia. And the Union are preparing for a very special night down in Chester with Alumni Night that will lead up to the Union vs DC United crucial matchup this week. And I figured, with all the alumni celebration, let's have a little fun ourselves. So today, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my starting 11 for the Philadelphia Union over the last 10 years. Might be a little controversial, maybe, but this is my thoughts. Guys, let's get this started. Let's get it! So alright guys, so here is the deal. So I'm going to line these guys up in the formation that the Union use now in that 4-4-2 diamond. So starting in goal, I have a tough decision. I really don't want to include players from today, but it's hard not to include Andre Blake in this starting 11 since he's been the longest starting goalkeeper in our history. But I think there is a goalie that had some serious impact in the beginning of our history, and that is my fellow Colombian, Fray Mondragon, who came over to the Philadelphia Union in 2011 from FC Cologne in Germany. For me, Mondragon not only played over in Bundesliga, played over in the Turkish league, played in La Liga. This guy's got pedigree in two different continents. But Mondragon also came here and impacted us from the jump. We had a pretty bad defense, if you guys remember, in the start of the Union's history. When Mondragon came over from Europe, man, things changed around real quick. We're in the top half in defense, and Mondragon even got awarded MLS All-Star bid in that year when we faced off against Manchester United. He was only here for 2 seasons and only played in 27 matches, but he started a legacy of goalies that Andre Blake is continuing in Philadelphia Union history. That is my goalie. All right, let's move on to the back line because I got Jordan Harvey, Carlos Valdez, Shannon Williams, and Michael Orozco Fiscal. So I'll start off with Jordan Harvey. Harvey came here during that expansion draft in the first year and played here for 2 seasons. But in my opinion, Jordan Harvey is the best left back we've seen in Union history. No disrespect to the great Ray Caddis, but Jordan Harvey, to me, my opinion, still is the best left back there. And his MLS pedigree is outstanding. And he is actually still playing right now for the MLS Supporters Shield leader, LAFC, and he's still doing his thing out. At this first center back, I have my Colombian Carlos Valdez. Now, Valdez, for a lot of Union fans, is mixed emotions because we remember the skill on the pitch that he portrayed. He was an excellent center back in the MLS, so good enough that he even got call-ups for the Colombian national team. That's right, my Colombian national team called an MLS player up to play for the team. He was even on the Colombian national team during the 2014 World Cup. That's pretty impressive. Had to have been the first Union player to be a part of a World Cup. But that is where his downfall would be. Much focus on trying to play for the national team, which led to loan to Santa Fe, San Lorenzo, and Club Nacional. Unfortunately, the Union got tired of that, and he would eventually leave after the 2015 season, but played 4 seasons, and the quality we saw from that guy, we will never forget. Carlos Valdez unfortunately went through some knee injuries that never made him the same, and right now, he is currently not playing, but hasn't officially retired yet, but the thought is, there's nothing left for him to do. And to be quite honest with you, after this Carlos Valdez deal, it kind of soured the Union away from dealing with players in South America. In the other center back position, I have Shannon Williams, another guy whose ending with the Union did not end the right way, but we won't talk about that in this episode. But Shannon Williams was a quality center back and was imposing on a lot of different MLS attacks. He would play for the Union for 5 seasons, spending half of the Union's history with the team, 141 appearances. I love the gutsy play of Shannon Williams, and he is my center back. Shannon Williams stuck around for a couple years in the MLS, playing for. He was traded from the Union back in 2015 to the Houston Dynamo, would play a season there. He'd play a year with Vancouver Whitecaps, and he would end his career with LA Galaxy, and that seems to be it for Shannon Williams. He has not been picked up this season. And at that right fullback position, I have Michael Orozco Fiscal. Yes, he did only play 1 season here as he was on loan here from San Luis in Mexico. But Michael Orozco Fiscal was a pretty quality fullback for the Union, and so much so that he's even had a lot of caps with the U.S. national team. 29 appearances isn't bad for Michael Orozco Fiscal, and to me it's tough because you know, obviously Ray Gaddis has played a long time here in Philly, and Keegan Rosenberry was a really solid right back too. Played here for 2 seasons. But to me, Michael Orozco Fiscal looked like the best right back in that 2010 season in Union history. So I have him there. Michael Orozco Fiscal is currently, he even scored two goals in that lone season with the Union. That's not bad for a fullback. Michael Orozco Fiscal is still kicking, as he's now winding down on his career. He is in USL playing for Orange County Soccer Club. All right, let's move to the midfield. And at that left shuttle midfielder, I have Roger Torres. At the 6th role, I have Brian Carroll. At that right shuttle midfielder, oh captain, my captain, Alejandro Bedoya. And at the tip of the diamond, I have Tranquilo Barnetta. Let's start off with Roger Torres, because obviously here he didn't really play the left midfielder, but he has played left midfield in his career. And to me, Roger Torres was a stud midfield. He would play here for 3 seasons. He was part of that first team in 2010. He came over from my club in Colombia, América de Cali, and he would play until 2013. He had 15 appearances for the club. He would finish off his Union career with 3 goals and 6 assists. And not to mention, he gave the Union the very first assist in Union history, that first goal to Seba in that DC United game at the Link, and he goes down in Union history. Roger Torres is still kicking in Colombia right now. He plays for the Colombian champ Atletico Junior. He's more of a bench player for the Barranquillero club. At the 6th role, I have the original captain, Brian Carroll. How do you not put Brian Carroll in a starting 11 for the Union? He was the longest tenured captain, which I think Alejandro Bedoya will break, but he was the first staple at captain for this Union team. He was the captain for 4 seasons, also played here for 6 seasons. Throughout Brian's career, whether it be through DC or Columbus or even Philly, he was always praised for his veteran leadership. He was always a leader out on the pitch, and his pedigree speaks for itself. He has 2 MLS Cups, one with DC back in 04 and one with Columbus Crew back in 08. Fortunately, he couldn't get one for the Union, but he gave us his all for all those 6 seasons. Brian Carroll would retire after the 2017 season, and I believe he's actually still living in this area, which is great to know. So we're having some Union players who have retired who still want to live in this area, which is huge. Right, at that right shuttle midfielder, I have a current player. Now, I know it is, I didn't want to include any current players on this team, but it's hard not to put Alejandro Bedoya. Ali not only has the prestige of a player, he's a U.S. international. To me, he will go down as one of the best Union players of all time. He came over in 2016 from FC Nantes. He was beginning to start a family and decided that he wanted to head back home to the U.S. to start his own family, and Philly was the choice. And it fit him perfectly from day one. The fiery passion that Alejandro Bedoya has fit the city perfectly, like a glove. And we constantly see the same thing from Alejandro Bedoya. Constant fire on the pitch, and of course, with the whole gun violence stand he took at that DC game this season was huge, and it made headline news and put the Union in a great light. But he absolutely embraces this Philadelphia culture to the T. So far through his 3 seasons with the Philadelphia Union, he's had 97 appearances with 11 goals and 9 assists. I believe once it's all said and done, he will go down as the best Union player of all time. At the 10 role, we have Tranquilo Barnetta, and guys, this was probably one of the more fun players we've had in Union history. He came over in 2015 from Schalke FC, and right off the bat, we were wondering who the hell this guy with the man bun who was wearing 85 is. His creative ability was impeccable. He knew how to curl the shit out of a ball. When I think of Tranquilo Barnetta, I think about that Orlando City free kick right outside the box to give us the win. That's the lasting image I have of Tranquilo. Union! He would finish his Union career with 6 goals and 6 assists and 45 appearances. He would only play with the Union for 2 seasons, but him and that man bun will go down in Union history. Tranquilo actually just retired this season. He spent the last 2 years with FC St. Gallen in Switzerland, his home country. All right, the 2 forward positions, one of them you guys should already know. It's a no-brainer. But the other one was actually a little difficult for me to decide. Obviously, we've had guys like CJ Sapong, Alejandro Moreno, Jack McInerney, but to me, the one guy I have to put him in the starting 11. That's Carlos El Pescadito Ruiz. Now, Carlos only played one season here with the Union, but it was a season we will never forget. And what really stood out to me in that one season Carlos Ruiz played with the Philadelphia was that long, crazy volley with his weak foot against the Chicago Fire.
Ruiz will pass it instead, but it was picked off. Hawes got to head to it. Sent in! What a shot by Ruiz! 2-1 Philly.
That goal was incredible, but that was Carlos Ruiz. He was a pest for any opponent that played him. He would play a total of 9 seasons in the MLS, playing for LA Galaxy, FC Dallas, DC United, Toronto FC. He's not only remembered in Union history, but he is an MLS cornerstone staple, one of the pioneers to take the MLS to another level. He had 14 appearances in that one season with 6 goals. He last played in 2016, where he retired with FC Dallas, the team that he feels a bigger connection towards in the MLS. But Carlos Ruiz, we will always remember you. Right, last but not least, guys, this is like a no-brainer here. How can you not put Sebastian Letou? This guy is the face of the Philadelphia Union. He's the only player we have in our Ring of Honor right now. The man, quite frankly, is the Philadelphia Union. He came over in the expansion draft in 2010 from Seattle and would play in those first 2 seasons. He bounced back between Vancouver, and it really pains me to say it's a year I always try to forget, but he played 1 season with that energy drink team from North Jersey. Don't ever like talking about it. But after that, he would come back home and play 3 more seasons. But to be quite honest with you, Sebastian, to me, it just really impacted my life. I never thought that I could connect with a soccer player in my hometown. To think that he was part of the first team here in Philadelphia, and he lasted here for 6 seasons. It's truly incredible. His high press game really is what introduced me to the high press. The way he would play the high press, he literally would just scare the shit out of you. Seeing Sebastian Letou with that ugly ass face, and those long strides just coming in your face, legit. It's something I will never forget. And honestly, any forward who needs to learn how to play the high press, put on some tape of Sebastian Letou, and he will teach you how to play. I don't care if you're playing in MLS or you're playing the Premier League, that man knows how to press. He would have 189 appearances throughout those 6 seasons, scoring 53 goals and 47 assists. Sebastian Letou is actually currently still part of the Philadelphia Union. He just joined the TV broadcasting team with PHL 17, and despite the language barrier, him speaking a little broken English, he's great on there. It's truly and honestly like seeing Brian Dawkins, Dr. J, a Bernie Perrant, or a Mike Schmidt just talking to us, a legend talking to the fans. And if I had to pick a coach, I don't think I need to tell you guys who I would pick. Alright guys, that is El Parcero Philly's all-time starting 11 for the Philadelphia Union. In the comments below, guys, let me know how off I am. Who do you disagree with the most? Who is your starting 11 as well? Guys, not only do we have 10-year anniversary and alumni stuff this weekend, but the Philadelphia Union also do have a big match. We're facing off against DC United. I will have a match preview with that as well, so stay tuned for that, guys. But guys, please, I could use your help. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button for notifications, and share this video. Help me get to 100 subscribers. That is the goal for El Parcero Philly. But until the next time, my duperos, DOOP on.